the consistency that you guys display over the years has been absolutely remarkable, and it continues with Death Song. I mean, I understand you feel that this record has more depth. You know, I mean, what was the band chemistry like in the lead up to this release?
The chemistry, I think the chemistry's been pretty good. I feel like we're communicating better than we used to. Has nothing to do with music at all.
That because we've been together for so long that we've really kind of grown up and matured a little bit, or more than a little bit, but and it kind of is reflected within this new album. And we had a lot of time to write, so we wrote over like close to 50 songs, and so we kind of just thought like which ones seemed to come about the most organically, kind of like how Passover did. Songs just kind of formed together with like a jam and then into a song. But yeah, I think because we've been together for so long. With
this record, you were more focused on, exposing the confusion of our times more directly. Did you feel compelled to kind of take this route, or given the world events that are happening, or was that something that just happened organically?
I mean, I think it seems like we always kind of are writing in that kind of direction, and I don't know, we always feel compelled to say something important. We have a platform to and we might as well use it to do something important. I think, I'm not sure if this record would have gotten as much pickup if we released it 2 or 3 years ago. I think more people are more looking for artists and bands that are kind of speaking about things that that are current, or things that are important to them.
Not having parameters in place, allows you to be more expressive with your art. I mean, is that something that that comes into play with when you in your crafting process?
Yeah, I mean, there are and there aren't parameters. We say that there are no, we don't want to have parameters, but like, you just don't want to, you want to keep all your options open. And if something's just sounding good and it's just like completely out of left field, then just go towards it. Like, there's no. That's kind of what I mean when we say that we don't want to have parameters to our music. But there's internal parameters that we've kind of created that I don't even know how you define. Like how would it's like just doesn't pass our meter of something that we want to do.
I have to ask you about a song that's been lauded and commended for you guys for many years, "Young Men Dead." I mean, it's been used in some movies and TV shows, and I wanted to ask you, when you first heard the song at the end of first episode of True Detective, I mean, it was so compelling and gripping the way Matthew McConaughey had his vocal delivery, and then the song came. What was your verdict on that?
I'd like to say first and foremost, I really liked that show too.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you guys know about that show. Like, there's some things that we don't know if it makes it over here or not. That was a really, really good show. I mean, we're all honored to be in that. I thought it worked well. I thought it worked well for the scene.
And Matthew's always been a really big supporter of our music, which we appreciate so much because it's helped us reach a lot more people. When he's even just said our band name or mentioned a song in an interview.
Yeah.
So
he kind of goes out of his way to talk about our
awesome.
band, which is like, who does that? It's like super cool.
You don't have to, but
you don't have to.
It's cool.
It's an absolutely brilliant, actually, it really is. And I have to ask you, Alex, you mentioned that trying to write in a timeless way is something that you try to do. I mean, but it's quite a difficult kind of.
Yeah.
Tell us more about that.
I think that you just write about things that are. That's a good question, because you can't say I'm going to write in a timeless way. Like, you just kind of identify when your topics are something that maybe have been a problem since the dawn of man, and maybe will continue to be a problem or an issue. They don't have to be a problem, or something that people deal with. But sonically, timeless is a different thing. It could be lyrically that way, but sonically, I think one way to achieve that is focusing on what kind of gear that you buy, and the gear that you use. That's kind of like a big deal for us, at least. My favorite music and our favorite music is stuff that, feels like, you know, you listen to like David Bowie or Suicide or Silver Apples or the Beatles even, it's just that timeless quality where that music's still going to be good in 100 years, you know, in my opinion. You just kind of hope that you do that, and if it is timeless, it's timeless. If it's not, then I guess you missed the ball.
What brings about most joy and bliss, you know, when you guys are on tour? What would you say, you know, keeps the mindset fresh, so to speak?
Sleep.
Sleep. Yeah, we entertain ourselves pretty well. I think the band rapport is pretty good. So that kind of dynamic is really important. If you're kind of married to these people, and if you don't like them, you know, these relationships, you know, they're not going to work. So I look forward to kind of just goofing off, you know, like in between shows, you know. At the same time, you know, when we perform, and there are these moments where you're on stage and you're performing. Sounds so like cheesy talking about when you're performing on stage. When you're playing songs in front of people and you feel that like there's this connection to yourself and the music that you've created, and how and people are understanding what you feel, that's like a really magical feeling to me. Like it's really emotional. Those moments, it can happen once every 5 shows, it can happen 5 shows in a row, but those moments are the ones that I kind of, you know, hold on to really tight.
And would you say your philosophy as you're heading forward is, you know, to kind of like reach something that's higher and then bigger than yourselves, you know, like you mentioned earlier, something that gives you the chills and that connection that you have with the audience? Is that what it's all about for you? I mean, primarily?
Yeah, I think at the core of it, yeah. I mean, we talk about how music is therapeutic, it's therapy, you know, and that is at the core of it. You know, we're obviously not doing it for the money. It's like, no one's making any money in music,
well,
you know.
Yeah, the band makes the least amount.
Yeah, the artists always get paid last. For all of you who are watching, you know, there are a lot of moving parts, you know, and people see a band, they're like, oh man, they've got 3 million plays on YouTube, but like that translates to like $3, you know, per person, you know. So it's, you know, talking about this musical economic depression that we're kind of in, not focusing on that too much, or if you focus on that all the time, then you just kind of you feel like you're treading water and not getting anywhere. So there has to be some other meaning to why you play music, and for us it feels great. It feels good to play, and
as long as you're always kind of progressing and trying to, I think it's important to you know, evolve basically, whether it's subconscious or you're aware of it, but I think that's super important too for the creativity of the band.
Keep it fresh. Yeah, that we it's hard to write a set list every night, you know, 'cause I don't really like singing the same songs over and over, telling the same story, you know. It's hard to do that with like conviction, and you know, so changing your set list up, you know, those are just little things like that, even if it's, you know, not every single show, but those things keep it fresh too, you know. I just kind of, we're playing music, you know, that's kind of for a living, and it's a pretty non-stressful thing, and it's amazing, really fortunate to be able to do this.